Shalom, shalom. It's Yom Teruah, and we're out here this morning. It's kind of cloudy, so hoping we're going to get good readings. But I've already blown the shofar at sunrise, and we can see our stovepipe shadow, just like I said, has moved over a half a board there. So it should be in the middle of the board tomorrow, and then I would say it would be the equinox the following day. But let's see what the shadows all tell us today. So there is stovepipe, and then as I mentioned, we did move this over here. So when the sun gets a little bit higher, I can be able to track it, but I'll be able to track it later in the afternoon today. So that will be good. You can see our lines from yesterday. We still have some curvature going on, so I want to wish everybody a blessed Yom Teruah. Be out there blowing the shofar and letting Yahuwah's word shine forth, and we'll be checking in periodically through the day. So everybody have a blessed day, and we'll see you later. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. It's kind of windy out here in sunny Moab, well, kind of hazy Moab today. We're looking at our shadows at midday, and well, that's, yeah.
On the rock.
It looks like it's pretty much touching. And the interesting thing is our Millery today. I don't know if you can see that shadow. It is right on the X. So what does that mean? Today's Yom Teruah. I don't know. Makes sense to me, but you're gonna have those naysayers. So you can see there's the shadow right up there where the vernal equinox was last spring. Does it mean much? I don't know. It means something. And then we're plotting our lines here. Hopefully we'll still have some sunlight this afternoon, but you can see we have the red. We started in red today. So we've come across hour by hour. So it does not look very straight to me, but that's our tracking there.
We're working, it's a work in progress.
A work in progress. 2 of the 3 witnesses are lining the shadows up today, so you know what Meatloaf says, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We'll keep tracking throughout the day and report this evening. But wishing everybody shalom and a blessed Yom Teruah. And it's time to blow the shofars. Well, good evening, everyone. It is the evening of Yom Teruah, and we had our observations today of the shadows and some interesting things. This is our first year of doing this. I've always been a sky watcher, but never a shadow watcher. So Enoch teaches us certain things about the division of time. And today we had our shadow come back up to our equinox point, even though my little plots weren't quite straight, and our filled flags look straight, but we
They're really close.
They're really close, but
They
I
were
don't.
yesterday,
I don't
too.
think we have enough together. I don't think we did it. We should have done it like maybe every 15 or 20 minutes, not every hour, so we could got a better line.
And we didn't leave the flags out so we could compare. So that's something we got to do. Make sure we do next year. But I'm satisfied that we got a great sign in the sky, and when those lines go straight, we know we're there. The one we need to pay attention to is the vernal equinox, the spring equinox, because next day is month 1, day 1, and we count, and that's what counts.
All right. And now, I mean, we had the shadow come up to our vernal equinox point today, which tells us what? It tells us that it's been 182-ish days since then, which Enoch says is when Yom Teruah is. So it marked Yom Teruah. And to say that our calendar is out of whack because our solstices and our equinoxes our seasons are no longer the same amount of days.
If you remember correctly, we put the video up on the solstice back in June 19th, and it showed the shadow actually changing on the north stick on our armillary, which told us, even though quote-unquote the sun's standing still, we could see a difference in the shadow, and it got smaller. It shortened up, which means it was starting to turn already. It turned at the proper time. So trying to understand what Enoch is saying about these seasonal markers is very interesting.
Right.
But the count is what's important.
The count, he tells us how to count, but he was seeing shadows. I mean, we have to think about Enoch, okay? He describes it as equal day and time. So, of course, there's a big debate. Is it the equinox or is it the equinox? And I'm wondering if it's not even something different. When we look at shadows, he was looking at the shadow, and the earth was engulfed in half a shadow. So it was half day, half night. Was it the position of the sun, or was it just the shadow? But I have no doubt that the shadows told us today that today is Yom Teruah. Mm-hmm. It may not be the straight line for the equinox, but I have no doubt today was Yom Teruah. Today is the first day of the 7th month. I think the sun told us that with where it lined up. And I think we still have lots to learn. But I think we're right on track. And Yahweh is showing us it is his shadows. It is the shadows of time. And is that what Enoch was looking at? Was the shadows on the earth? You know, was it half light, half dark? So I don't know. We're learning, trying to to really be the eyewitness of these shadows and understand them. And so if we ever end up being Rick Grimes and we woke up and out of a coma and there's Walking Dead all over the place, we know when we can commune with Yahweh.
Where's the fire to burn them up?
That's all we care about. Is when do you commune with Yahweh? We don't care. But if I wake up out of a coma, I want to know. And that's what this year has been, is a journey of learning the shadows so we can know if we are Rick Grimes.
Well, learn where the solstice look, how they look on the ground in front of us, and that could tell us an awful lot. You know, if we're in the same general location and we get confused, we should be able to put a stick in the ground that day and have a pretty darn good idea where we're at and what we're doing anywhere. So
right. And we also know that we're not back in Enoch's time. I think that part of the birthing pains will be the return to the 364 or the 360 plus 4 years, year. And I think that'll be part of the signs. Just like we saw in the book of Enoch when Noah runs to his great-grandfather. Great-grandfather, what is happening? The earth has tilted. Well, I think that was when time changed.
the axis changed.
The earth tilted. We went to a
Rotation.
365.
Rotation changed.
And how did he know that the earth tilted?
Stars.
Yeah,
The
the
sun.
heaven changed.
The sun even changed.
Oh, do you see the sunset behind us?
The sun even changed. You can see the curvature of the sun behind us in this film and the video. Hope it shows up when we put it on video. I think it will.
That is
But
the
that's the
shadow
curvature.
of the curvature of the earth.
That's what
right
you
there
see
behind
from a
us.
high mountain when you take pictures of it, and you see the shadow behind the mountain and the curvature of the earth. So
Yep.
it's
Cool.
plain and simple.
So I hope you guys are enjoying learning about the shadows with us and learning about Yahuwah's division of time. I think we've all just been blinded. We all have lived in cities and we just rely so much on church and state that we've forgotten how to be independent thinkers. So
Yeah. Got to pick up the newspaper to know what time the sun goes down, right? Check the tides. You know, you don't really need to do that, but that's what people are trained to do.
yeah, so we want to just get back to nature and read nature the way that it's Yahweh had intended and the way Enoch had taught. So I think we will continue throughout the next few days to track the shadows, but I feel pretty satisfied that today is Yom Teruah.
Well, we're definitely interested in the winter solstice this year. We're looking at it and see how our armillary, if it'll even hold up for that long. If not, we're going to make something to work, but I want to see if we can see the shadow like we did on the summer solstice on the North Stick, if there's a difference that we should see, lengthening or shortening, you know, like we saw with the summer solstice. So that when the sun's standing still, they claim that you can't see the difference unless you have high-tech technology to look at and measure it. All we use is the sun, and we saw the solstice change the day after the solstice changed right on the armillary by the shadow shortening. So we are kind of excited about that still to learn it and find out.
Yeah, shadows don't lie. They just don't. You can have all the high-tech equipment you want and can measure the sun's movement to the nanosecond, but what the sun's light casts on the earth and how the shadows read, that is...
Sometimes I'm just afraid our forefather Enoch had it right 100%, and we're blind, too blind, our ancestors too blind to follow simple instructions.
Yep, I agree. Well, we bid you all shalom shalom and hope you had a blessed Yom Teruah. We're going to sit here and watch some stars come out, and the sun is going down. And
Bella and Ayla say shalom shalom also with bark bark.
everybody have a good night.
Yes, shalom.
Can you see him? Oh, there's Ayla.
Bella's back on the other side.
Good night.